Shalom Aleichem. I just want to share a quick parsha thought in this week's parsha, Parshat Vaera. At the end of the parsha, Pharaoh seems to have finally, humbly met his match. And after the hail rains down from the heavens, these fiery snowballs of godliness, he says, and I quote, I have sinned. Hashem atadik v'ani v'ami arashayim. God is righteous, and me and my nation, we are wicked. It's an amazing moment of Pharaoh finally giving in. He gets it. He has sinned. God is teaching him his lesson. But of course, soon afterwards, as soon as the hard times run away because of Pharaoh's and Moshe's prayers, Pharaoh goes back to his old tricks and refuses to send out the Israelite people. So what are we supposed to learn from this? Thinking the following thought. Instead of viewing Pharaoh as a wicked person, and he was, but let's think of him more as a weak person. He had this inspiration. He had this idea, this sureness that he's got to change. Let's assume that it was sincere. But then he went back to his old habits. And the truth is, this isn't just Pharaoh, but we all have a little Pharaoh inside of us. And we all need to go free of Egypt inside of us, of our inner enslavements. And the question is, after you have that moment of inspiration, we decide, I want to change, I want to become better. What do we do with that? And the answer needs to be, we need to take that inspiration and link it onto an action that we're going to do. So look through our schedule and ask ourselves, how can we put that inspiration into practice as something real? Or how do we cut out whatever's bad for us in a real way? Right? So for example, I don't know. Let's say I'm trying to cut added sugar out of my diet. So I can just be inspired one moment and then the next day I have a craving. But if I decide, you know what, I'm going to get rid of all the sugar candy bars in my house, much less likely that I'm going to give in to my desires the next time I have a craving. That's just a silly example. Not a silly example, but it's a physical example, right? Or I commit, you know what? Starting today, I'm going to learn Chafetz Chaim every day if I'm struggling with the fact that I keep speaking Lashon Hara. I'm going to go through my schedule and actually ask myself, how can I insert this inspiration into my day and thus not go back to my old habits? And this way we can learn from Pharaoh's mistakes and take that inspiration that we're feeling, whatever inspiration that God gives us, and bring it into our lives. Anchor it with something real. That's my very simple message to myself. Hope you're listening, because this helps me listen. This is my anchor, because doing these little YouTube videos makes me learn. And in order to teach, you have to learn a little bit, and sits me down to connect to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So I hope these are helpful to you too. And you should also make some YouTube videos if it gets you to learn. And I bless you with an amazing Shabbos. Think with Erev Shabbos, it's a time of tshuva. Think to ourselves, how can I take the inspiration from the week and anchor it into something real? Have a great Shabbos.